We're here at the Tracy Ridge Trail in Allegheny National Forest. Dara, Jeremy, Ovi, Robert, Shaylin,
featuring Dan. I'm
featuring
a featured
Dan.
artist, new to the crew. Like 5 minutes later, we're there.
So it begins.
Kind of the back. Oh yeah. Oh, Mark's got to bring up the rear. Oh, I see what this is about.
Got this sweet little bridge over this little creek. Nice thing is that there's a grate over the middle part of the bridge, so it's not as slippery. We started from the Tracy Ridge Trailhead, and from there it was just a downhill. It was kind of rocky and a little rooty, but now we're in the lower section of the Tracy Ridge Trail near the beginning, and it's looking pretty flat right now. Oh my god, almost fell. I almost died. Since the valley floor, we've been hiking uphill, but it's not terrible. It's actually well groomed. It's relatively flat, not a lot of rocks, not a lot of roots. May not look like it on camera, but it is slightly uphill. I'm hoping the trail stays flat and not rooty like this. I'll be able to walk this all day.
Flat and boring.
Yep. This is what Rob does not want.
No.
He wants super difficult, super steep, on the verge of collapse.
Yeah, where we get all the good views at. Gotta go uphill.
Boo. Dara, I think this is our first backpacking trip of the fall season, isn't it?
It is. I've only done 2 this season. I did a solo in the spring and then this.
Where'd you go for the solo in the spring?
Lake Vesuvius.
Oh, nice. How was it?
It was awesome. I did the backpack trail, like on the outer rim.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was fantastic. I think it was like a Wednesday or Thursday, so there was like absolutely no one there. It was really nice.
So we were there previously. Actually, did we day hike it or we
We
stay
day
overnight?
hiked it afterwards with Obi, I think.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. But we did the Lakeshore Trail for the day hike.
Yeah. The Lakeshore Trail at Vesuvius is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So we've been hiking for about half an hour. And actually we're still hiking uphill, but it's been so gradual, it almost seems flat. Yeah, it's been really flat. I really do hope the trail's like that throughout the whole entire weekend. Now the bridge. Made it. We just came up a really steep hill. Now we're in the flat section. I thought it was steep. They'll probably say it was easy, but
It was a moderate
It
grade.
was a moderate, yeah. It wasn't.
It was just pretty
If it was any longer, it would
2 miles of a moderate.
I thought it was pretty tough. Of course, also I'm out of shape.
We could also camp at this site here, which would be about 4.5 miles. If we continue on our here, it's only about a mile and a quarter to the campsite, and we're done for the
A
day.
mile and a half.
Okay, so I think my original plan was to take this to get some miles in, but
Cool. That's what I would like to do.
So what are we doing?
We're gonna take the loop.
And were you thinking we might camp here instead of the...
We have our
Handsome
choice.
Lake?
If we really like this campsite, we can camp at Hopewell, or we can keep going up to Handsome Lake. But Bill Murray says you're welcome.
Let's do it.
All right.
That's lovely.
so towards 8.
Has the tribe spoken?
No freaking way. Yeah, no, I'm good.
I'm here for the ride.
Yeah, same.
Whatever you
I'm
guys
just a
do.
follower, man. I'm just gonna follow you, but I'm gonna play some music. It'll motivate me. Oh shit, my bad. I can put headphones on.
So far, this trail's been looking pretty awesome. So walking through this section has been pretty easy. Really flat, going through these pretty cool ferns on the side of the trail. Looks really nice. It's also been super quiet. You don't hear the cars anymore. You don't hear traffic. It's pretty sweet. This section of the trail has been super awesome. Walking on really soft ground. We got shade from the tree. It's slightly downhill. It's been fantastic. So we just came down a pretty steep section. It was rocky and rooty. If you're going the opposite direction, trying to go up it, it's gonna suck. But for us, it was just difficult and sketchy. Oh, no. Ew. Plants are touching my skin. Going down another steep section. Thank goodness we're going down instead of up. You'd be hearing me. I'd be complaining the whole entire time. Man, it looks awesome. We did make it to more or less a rocky beach. More rock than beach. But there's nobody out here. Nobody. Except that boat over there. But other than them, there's nobody. The water is actually kind of warm. Yeah.
Sir, cheers. Steps here.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, I mean the road says
Oh yeah. That's so scary. And I think
Look at him go! Whee!
Yeah, you're right. I just don't try. It's not like
it's still scary. It's still like I
it's
feel
not
like it's totally safe.
So lunch is over. Back on the trail. Now we're heading over. We'll be hiking along the lake pretty much until we get to the campsite. So we'll be seeing a lot of cool views of the lake. What do you think of the trail so far, Rob?
I don't know. I'll defer to Chalon.
What do you think of the trail so far, Jalen?
Great. It's so loud.
Is it because of all the leaves?
Yeah.
Or is it because Rob is so talkative?
Mostly Rob, but
Rob can't shut
also
up.
the leaves. It's beautiful.
Rob is so loud. This section of the trail has been pretty awesome for me. It's flat. There's been one little hill. Other than that, it's been flat.
was there a hill? I didn't think you let us know that.
He didn't think it was a hill. I thought it was a hill. We're still by the lake on the left. We're still hiking towards, I think it's Hopewell campsite. We'll see if Rob and Dan are there. If not, we'll move on to the next campsite. USB area. So we made it to the Hopewell campsite. Cooper's over there. A few boats out there. How's it look over there, Dan?
Down there, there's really nice view.
Better view? Wow, looks pretty impressive. We made it to the campsite and we are finally set up. We're all starting to make dinner. And I'm going to take you over to our campsite. Rob starting the fire. Jeremy starting his dinner. Obi and Dara hanging out, starting their dinner too.
If we walked all that way.
Dan and Chalon. Chalon's having her dinner. Dan's hanging out. Here's Chalon's tent. That's Rob's. Dara's tent. Obi's tent. Dan's tent. And Jeremy's brand new tent. That's pretty sweet. And over here is my Dutchware chameleon hammock. And that's the view I have from my hammock. Now it's time to make dinner.
Just don't look.
You're like, don't look at me. Definitely get that on video.
What's that?
How about no? How about we don't get this
Wow.
on video?
That looks interesting.
Very dissipated.
I got chili real fast.
Good plan.
You know what will warm you up? Sawing some firewood.
There's Dan swinging swinging on another tree.
I think it's Olive Garden that actually has like PC packs of olive oil.
You can buy them online.
We all had breakfast and are packing up to start our hike. And for right now, it looks like the rain has stopped. We're finally packed up and we're about to hit the trail. You might be able to see there's a little bit of fog on the lake. A little bit of fog over there. Might be difficult to see. There is a slight mist, but I think overall the heavy rains are pretty much over. Hopefully we'll have a dry hike.
Which is surprising because when we were looking out and around,
Yeah, everything's more orange and red, I thought, right?
yeah, the sky's peeking through a little bit.
So we're in a flat section of the trail. From the camp, there's been a slight uphill. I think everyone's still behind me.
No one's passed you, so.
Yeah. And it's off and on rain. So supposedly it's supposed to stop soon.
Quit saying that.
I gotta stop saying that. So we're gonna keep hiking. Hopefully it stays flat. The lake is still out to our left. You may not be able to see it, but it's there. My glasses are fogging up.
Where's your little windshield wipers?
Do I look really pretty in your shots? Do I look fat? Now it's gonna look like there's 3 cameras on me. So it's raining leaves right now. A lot of leaves. Oil?
A tree may have fallen on it.
Oh yeah.
Stuff around here. Probably fell and just split it. Lake, we want to go that way.
So for a handsome lake, and then we want to go up to 11.
Yeah.
Eventually, 11 being
And
10.
then we crisscross.
I think that's how it works, right? 10, 11, I don't know.
Yeah.
For most people. Still nice and green.
There's the lake to our left. It's a little bit windier in this section of the lake. I think everyone's still behind us. The trees are dropping either acorns or walnuts on top of us. So there's been a battlefield here.
You say it was a battle?
A battlefield.
Oh.
Walking through a pretty cool pine section. The lake's still to our left. We have these little ups and downs where streams go through, and streams have been pretty dry. Thankfully it's still flat. More food Rog gives away, the later his pack gets.
You feel like the leaves make it brighter back here?
It does seem pretty bright back here.
Yeah.
Because, like, back when we were in the pine, it was definitely more subdued. I just feel like there's more undergrowth. In the pine, it was all
Dark and
like needly.
Yeah. Yeah, I imagine these leaves get some kind of light reflection, maybe.
Probably.
Yeah. Maybe the yellow. That's it, I don't know.
You're not wrong, though. It does seem a lot brighter.
So we just stopped for lunch. I think this is the last place we can get water near the lake. Where's Obi?
He fell his way back.
Oh, there he is.
Getting water. We abandoned him.
Yeah. We've gone about 4 miles to get here. 4-ish.
That sounds about right.
So we could do 3 more or 5 more? Is that the option?
Probably like 2 more or 5 more, really. 'Cause there's
2 more sounds really good.
Once we get to 12,
Sounds good.
12 you either go like a quarter mile
2
to
or 5.
14, or you go a mile to 13 to 14
This is
again.
one of those cases where 2 is better than 5.
We just finished up lunch.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. I know. I was here.
We got a pretty good hill ahead of us. We made it past that big hill. Now we're going just to the side of the ridge line. Jeremy and Rob are up ahead. Behind me I have Chalin, Dan, Ovi, and Dara. I think we're gonna meet at the next junction and decide what we want to do from there. We do have some options in terms of the trail, so we'll meet up with the other two and decide what we want to do as a group. That hill kicked my butt. Shaylin, what do you think of the trail so far today?
Good. It was a very, very steep incline that was challenging, but fun nonetheless. Beautiful lake views, beautiful leaves falling, pine tree forest. It's been great.
Dan, what do you think of the trail so far?
He's lying.
What do you think of the trail, Mike?
Obviously, I hate uphills. But the only good thing about uphills is that it keeps you really, really warm.
It's true.
Other than that,
Except when you pile your layers on
yeah,
right before you go up the hill.
now you're probably sweaty in there.
Yep.
Deciding what to do.
I know what I want to do. So,
What's that, Rob?
I know what I want to do too.
Are they the same thing?
Maybe not. I'm gonna leave it up to everyone else to decide.
Jeremy broke off from the rest of us. He wants to do a little bit more hiking and see more vistas. So he did the little bit longer loop. The rest of us, I think we're gonna try to meet up with them at 17 and then maybe try to find a campsite. I have a feeling we're not gonna find anything around 17. My guess is that would probably be better going right to the Tracy Ridge campsite, but we'll see how everybody feels. So I think if we're going down to 17, we actually have to go down and then go back up. I kind of don't want to go back up.
Should have told Jeremy that.
Yep, it's too late now. It's too late to speak up now, Mark.
I did say that. You guys just ignored me.
Yeah, but Jeremy was
Which,
yelling here.
I don't blame you. I ignore myself too.
All right.
I think we should go 17.
Well, we told him we'd meet him there or leave a sign. So.
Yeah. Unless someone else just
Okay, Dara, you leave the sign.
Yeah.
Too.
someone takes one for the team and goes down there.
All right.
I'm the one to push for it, so. Yeah, we'll all go as a group.
All right.
This is 17.
So we're currently at 16 where that nail is. Unfortunately, there's no campground, so we're going to go back up to 3 and then maybe to the actual campground. And Bill Murray says you're awesome.
Seems shorter.
We're at 2.
Yeah.
How much further? 0.6?
We have
0.6?
It may not even be that long because that's to like the other side of campground. So there's like a 4 and then a 3. So we're at the 3, which is right on this loop.
I
I'm
say we
sorry,
just
the 2. And then and we came up this way. And that sign says to 15, which is back this way towards the reservoir. So,
Because we would be going back where
yeah,
we came from.
we definitely want to go that way.
What's 15?
15 is over here.
yeah, we don't want to go there.
Like, this is literally where we were, like, trying to decide.
Oh,
whether we
because this
wanted
is
to
kind
go
of a.
straight or-
Yes.
Yeah.
That was the
Back
it'll
there.
take a mile from there to get here. All right.
We're here at the Tracy Ridge campground. We got a campsite. There's Dan and Shaylin's tent. Ovies. I'm sorry, that's Dara's. Ovies. Jeremy. My hammock. And as usual, Rob's. Shaylin finished cutting all the wood. We're finally packed up and getting ready to hit the trail. Just getting the fire put out. Hit the mid-30s. I think everyone slept fairly well for depending on how cold it was. Okay, and maybe not everyone.
terrific. That's usually good, I think, right?
I slept really well for a while, and then it, like
If
at
you don't
3 I
remember,
couldn't.
you get started like, I guess I slept. I don't know.
I think I slept in like spurts.
Back on the trail, heading back to the car. 9:35. It's kind of hard to tell exactly what location we're at. I think we're at either 2 or 3. They're like 0.2 miles away from each other, so essentially 2/3. 2 3s, 2-3, 2-3. We've been hiking for about an hour. Looks like everybody is pretty warmed up now. Pretty much everyone has stripped their puffy layers because it's starting to get warm this morning, and it's been a beautiful hike this morning. Staying at the Tracy Ridge campground last night was pretty interesting. Sounded like two separate families were yelling at each other from different campsites. I think it's something to do about their dogs. They went at it for a while. Also, one of the RVs had their generator running all night. Thankfully, Jeremy gave everybody earplugs. So, other than waking up in the morning, early morning to use the restroom, I slept pretty well. I think because of the amount of hiking we did, I think we ended up doing over 10 miles yesterday. Everyone was pretty wiped out. We did get a fire going last night, but as soon as the sun set, I think everyone was ready for bed. At least I know I was. It was a struggle to stay up until 9 o'clock. As soon as 9 o'clock hit, I'm like, yep, going to bed. It's hikes like this that make me want to think, where do I want to eat afterwards? Usually my default is Mexican. I think after that one it'll probably be burgers. Maybe after that one is maybe Bob Evans if we get done early enough for breakfast. My guess is burgers. I think we're gonna do burgers after this hike. Hey gang.
Someone's water tank fell out.
It looks like a Rob's. So we're at the nail?
Mile and a half.
We're here. Nail. We've been walking through a pine forest for some time and it's been pretty nice. Love walking on pine needles. Rob likes it too.
Love it.
I can tell we're getting closer to the trailhead. We're starting to hear the traffic from the road to our left. And this section of the trail has been pretty flat. It's been awesome. And at this point you probably know I like flat terrain. Especially one that's been covered in leaves and makes for softer ground to walk on. What do you guys think of the trail so far?
This part's really easy.
Yeah. Actually, overall, I think this trail's been pretty nice. It hasn't been too many hills.
Yeah, I liked it overall. I thought the only thing is like the scenery seemed more or less the same for the majority of it.
Yeah.
It'd been nice if there was like some different terrain.
I wish there was like an overlook somewhere.
Yeah.
We might have missed
You mean a real overlook that wasn't covered by trees?
Right, because there's a bunch on the map. But you get the, you're like, oh, it's only an overlook in the winter when there's no leaves.
Oh my gosh, we're so close.
Like 0.1 mile.
Hello.
Hi. Yeah.
Hey, sunglasses. Now we're getting really close to the road. We went down the same bridge 2 days ago? Something like that? Yep. And then And then I think we have an uphill ahead of us. And then we're at the car. And then it's food time.
Cheeseburgers.
Cheeseburgers.
Woo!
I think that's what we're doing. We did it.
We did it. Woo!
Dan made it. I take it you had his keys. Rob left it unlocked the whole entire time. So trustworthy. We did it.
You missed the turnoff. We have to keep going.
Nice job. Nice job.
Yeah.
So what'd you guys think of that trail?
It was good. Especially today.
Yeah,
It was awesome.
it's pretty much all downhill today.
It was, yeah.
Oh, that's why you liked it.
Yeah, that part was fantastic.
Pretty. It was cool.
It was gorgeous this morning, though.
So where are we going for food?
I think
Burgers?
Burger King.
Burger.
I don't know.
If it was good enough for Tony Stark, it's good enough for you.